Qalb. Qalb is a very important key word in Islam. Qalb has been used in various verses of Quran. Understanding the true meaning of Qalb helps us significantly to understand the true meaning of Quran. Qalb is mostly associated with inspiration, revelation, and even communicating with God. In general, it is known as the connection point with supernatural words and metaphysics. In most of the translations and interpretations of Quran, Qalb is referred to as a part of physical body called heart that pumps the blood. Some of them have described it as a place responsible for cognition and perception. However, all of them have identified it as a physical or non-physical point in the chest. Meaning of the word Qalb. In all the dictionaries, the meaning of the word Qalb is to turn over. Qalb means turning something over from one side or state to another one. The reason that heart is called Qalb in Arabic is that it turns the dirty, venous blood over and replaces it with fresh artery blood full of oxygen. So it returns the inverse of what it got. The perception. Humans live in the cage of their five senses during their whole lives. Their senses prevent human from understanding the truth about the universe. Instead of seeing the true universe, we see a dream created by our own senses and live in it. The world outside our minds has no color. However, we see it in a variety of colors. The objects are not solid and dense. However, we observe them solid, dense, and distinct from each other. The world we observe is actually turned over to what we call world by a part of our entity. Therefore, Qalb is the part of our entity that turns over our sensation inputs to what we call the world. If this turning over does not match with the purpose of creation, our observed world will change, and so do our behavior and doings. Such a corruption will deviate us from the main path of creation. So, Qalb is not the heart that pumps blood in our veins. If it was so, the people with artificial hearts should have a sort of identity issue. If we want to consider a place for Qalb, the only choice would be the brain, which either it does the turning over itself or is a medium for it. Based on the meaning of Qalb, Quran clearly tells us that what we perceive as the world is the turnover and interpretation of the true reality. Why is Quran not translated correctly? Is it because of the ignorance of the translators? Isn't it the wrong and false translations that create the religious superstitions? Could some religion abusers corrupt people's lives and health if the Quran keywords were translated correctly? By subscribing to our websites and channels, help us to spread peace and health in the world and stop religious abuses.